on where you find me. I don't have a Twitter because I haven't had one yet, and starting one now just feels very strange. I will be playing Reverend Green tonight. You see, I think Reverend Green's favorite sort of stuff at dinner parties is probably like the pot roast, if anyone has any, or maybe a good old hot dish. You know, if one of those parties, this might be a little bit more of a fancy party, so I might be out of luck on that one.
All
Back
right.
to you, who?
And of course, I am Andrew. I'm your games master for the evening, even though this is a game that does not typically require one. I am more of a listener and a facilitator. But you are going to find me here all week long, especially in our Discord, the Lost Caravan RPG official Discord, now that we're all official and everything, which you can join at the link down below, that big old button that says Discord. It's where we hang out, we post things like casting calls, schedules, and just generally hang out and be giant nerds. Chan, thank you so much for the donation. We'll make sure we get you added to the raffle, and we heckin' love you for it. All right, I think with that, I can move us on over. And we can get this kicked off. Yes, I'm a hand model. I don't know if you all knew that now, but so I'm going to roll all of these dice. We're going to go around. You're going to let me know what dice you want to take out, and you will use that to set up the relationships with each other. For anyone that hasn't played Fiasco, it is a very cooperative storytelling RPG, and we're specifically playing the Closed Circle game of Fiasco, which is all about murder mystery.
Murder.
Oops.
Look at all those dice.
Look at that and model.
And
Yeah, looks like. Oh man, I just about aged myself. Yes, excellent.
All right. Well, starting from right up above me with Mr. Scarlet, what dice would you like?
oh, let's take a 5.
5.
I see a blue 5 right there.
Damn.
And we can give the relationship to other people, right?
So this is for you. You're assigning it to either the
just for me,
person to your
okay.
left or the person to your right.
Okay, so let's see. I just lost my list. So let's go. Oh, God, there's so many. Let's do. Oh, God. Do the twins one.
Oh no.
With that.
Oh, yes.
Obviously.
All right then.
Very nice. Very good.
Fraternal twins, of course.
Obviously.
Well, I guess that brings us over to Colonel Mustard. What dice would you like?
Hold on. Taking some notes. I see a dark blue 4, so I'm gonna take that.
Are you using that between you and Mr. Gray, or are you solidifying your relationship with Mr. Scarlet?
Ooh. That's a very good question. Perusing the 4s just to see what we got here. You know what? I am going to suggest a relationship with Sergeant Gray here.
Mhm.
I'm going to say that we were good old Union boys.
Ooh, I love it. All right. Oh no. Second. Nation overlay needs to be up. That's why I didn't see it. There we go. Alright, well, Sergeant Gray, what dice would you like?
Oh. I think one of those threes creates a fun outcome between myself and Mrs. Peacock and our ruined marriage.
Oh my god.
I love it so much. Alright, Mrs. Peacock.
Oh no. Alright. I'm writing things down. Hold on. I have gloves. It makes me a little bit slower. Okay. Great. So now I can either choose to do a relationship. I just want to make sure I know this. I have to do one with Scott, correct?
Yes, or
Okay.
you can choose a dice and you go to the subcategory under ruined marriage between you and Sergeant Gray.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
Subcategory under ruined marriage.
Is
I
there
think
one?
we may have done it backwards.
Yeah,
I
'cause
think we
ruined
went
marriage-
to the
Oh!
specific ones
Yes.
on
So-
accident.
So,
Oh,
Oh,
so
we
family is what we are.
yes, you are family.
yes.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Okay.
that
Well,
means
then I
that
don't.
Colonel Mustard and Sergeant Gray, you are.
Well, 4 would put us under crime.
Yes. Well. Oh, you took a 4. Okay. I mean, what? That's okay.
But no, Mrs. Peacock and Sergeant Gray are family.
Yes.
That
Okay.
one's fine.
So that's solidified then. All right, then I will solidify the ruined marriage.
Yeah. So
By
take
taking a
3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Easy
too
peasy.
delicious of a prompt
is.
not to.
It is.
So between Mr. Scarlet and Colonel Mustard, what was the dice that you used? Was it a 5?
I think it was a 4.
Yes, it was 5. So it,
Oh, 5, yeah.
So
It
you
was
are
a 5,
work.
so
Your
it
relationship
worked.
is work.
Yeah.
And Colonel Mustard and Sergeant Gray, what was or Colonel?
That was a 4, so yeah, puts us under crime.
under crime.
Yes.
I love that we have the military.
Where is the lie?
All right.
Are
well,
we
that
war criminals?
brings us down to Reverend Green.
Okay, then let's see. Well, to kick things off with, I think for Scarlet up there, I think I would like. Oh goodness, how about that 2 there towards the top? I'd like to be friends with Mr. Scarlet over there.
Your relationship with Mr. Scarlet is friends. And we'll jump up to Mr. Scarlet.
All right, and I'm going to take that blue 3, and I'm going to deepen the relationship with the Colonel here. That makes a young playboy and the executor of their trust.
So you're the executor of Colonel Mustard's trust.
I was thinking the other way around.
Other way around. Okay.
I'm clearly aged, can't you tell?
All right.
Couldn't
then.
you look so spry? Like you haven't broken a hip yet or
I
anything.
mean, you.
The most gray-haired 22-year-old ever.
Oh God.
All right, Colonel Mustard. What you got?
Okay, so I was a little bit confused about how this works. So I rolled the 4 for crime, so do I take another die or?
Yeah, you choose another die, and
Okay.
you will just solidify your relationship with Sergeant Gray.
Alright. I think I'm gonna take that 5. So we're convicts on the run and just have a whole like, oh brother, where art thou moment.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Sergeant Gray, what you got?
Oh, hold on. I have to. So both of my relationships have been picked.
Mhm.
So I've got to go with needs next.
Sure.
Let me see. What is left out on the table? We have.
Looks like
Four,
4, 6. I think pretty much anything but a
Damn it,
3 is
yeah.
available.
Oh, okay. There is a 6, and I cannot resist that
Kill.
my need is to kill. And I will. Do we share the needs?
No, this is your need.
Okay, so my need is to kill.
Yep. All right, Mrs. Peacock, with your estranged marriage.
Well, all right. I feel
Well.
like I'm in the crosshairs right now. It's okay.
if Holly dies,
All right. I am going to. Oh man, this was too good. Sorry. I friends. So a number 2 with Reverend Green.
Aw, I'm just friends with everyone, aren't I?
I mean, you
Oh,
don't
thank
have to be. There's options to make it so that we're not.
How dare you? We're definitely friends.
Yes, definitely no ulterior motives here.
Nope. Okay, so if it's me then,
Sorry, I think we got a donation while my back was turned. How dare? Dido, thank you so much for the donation.
Dido!
We fucking love you. Sorry, go ahead.
you know, I think that I don't really know what it means, but I think the having a social club pal there with Mr. Scarlet might be kind of fun. So some sort of club or whatever that we both belong to, and
Social club
you know.
pets.
Yeah.
Bridge Club. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
we put him on the job.
Yeah, mark that you two are in a social club together. All right, so Mr. Scarlet.
That club could be like, you know, the local drug gang or something, but you know,
Right? It's fine.
But we're all just
I get
criminals.
brownies to
are,
all
yeah.
of our meetings, and
Except for me, I just
let's
have a
see
failed
here.
marriage.
brownies to your divorce hearings as well.
And a possible
Why
hit
we're
out on you
friends.
to be decided.
Mr. Scarlet, what you got?
I'm looking at the needs real quick.
You could also go with a secret.
Oh, that's true.
So with the secrets, like right up at the top, yeah, it has like who. Does it mean that we know who did it, or we were who did? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a little confused.
That means that you would know who did it.
Okay.
Let's go for a 4.
For
Alright.
secrets or needs.
Secrets.
Ooh.
Get rich. All
Oh,
right.
secrets?
Secrets.
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 No, that's the weapon.
Oh, I can read.
It's all right.
It's been a heck of a day, y'all. Colonel Mustard.
Alright. I think I am going to go for a need here. That sounds fun. I'm gonna take that one to get ahead.
Ooh, there's some good ones in there. Sergeant Gray.
Okay, I've got to see who I need to kill. Oh, Gersh.
No, if there's a 2.
Is there a 2?
There are a couple of 2s, but I am resisting the. Oh, there are no 3s left.
You could kill them. You
Could have to kill them all.
Yeah.
No, I think for me the most interesting one is I need to kill the inspector.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, just so you know that one with the symbol, that one, that's a 6.
Oh wait, that's a 6?
Yep.
Oh, really? Definitely looks like.
I need to kill the last one in my way.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Oh my.
Okay. Mrs. Peacock.
Oh gosh. Just are surrounded by scary people. All right. So I'm going to finish out Reverend Green and I's relationship 100% here, and
Do you want to
What?
have a little something more with that good old Reverend over here?
honestly, yes. All right. So I would like that number 4, please. Friends, but something more.
Oh.
Scandal.
Maybe that's why you have an estranged marriage.
I was just
Right.
going to say, am I a homewrecker?
Oh no. The
Run
last
home
one in my
here.
way to
You're the
repairing
last
the
one in the way,
marriage.
Reverend Green.
All right, Reverend Green.
Dead in the first scene.
Right.
Well, that's my relationships there. So,
You either got a secret or a need.
yeah. I think I would like to take a secret too, if that's all right, for the suspects.
All right, Mr. Scarlet.
I'm going to take that number 4 for need. To get rich.
You know, Mr. Scarlet knows the weapon. Did you have you solidified what exactly that means yet?
Still thinking about it.
Okay. All right, Colonel Mustard.
Alright, I think this is the coolest one because it's not necessarily a person. I'm gonna take that 5 so I get ahead without anyone else realizing.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. Sergeant Gray.
Oh. Oh, it's just too. I gotta. The murder. My secret is the murder.
Ooh. Mrs. Peacock.
Okay. Let me look here. So I kind of I would like to do. So I have a question. Do I only get to solidify like what I would like to do, or can I like solidify something else? like the weapon.
No. I think you could solidify, because the only thing that was really yours was the relationships between them. But yeah, you could
Okay.
solidify something else.
Okay. I am going to actually do. I would like the secrets. I would like the number 2, the suspects.
All right. And then that brings us to Reverend Green. That is a wild die. You can spend it on whatever.
Well, then I think I'm going to put it into my little suspect thing to solidify it. And the nice, well-meaning Reverend is happy that they're dead, and I don't care. So,
I love that.
All right. So, we should all have our relationships set. We have various secrets and needs between each of us. And I guess we can dive on in and start the first act.
Oh man.
Nah. Throw all of these dice back into the pool. For anyone that hasn't played the game Fiasco, basically the first player to go will start by setting a scene. And from there would be the rest of the table's job to help to solidify that scene. And by taking out either a red or a blue die and assigning it to another player. Red means that the outcome of this scene is less than positive. Blue means that it is a positive outcome. And I suppose I could kick us off. One by one, you all received your invitations. Now, whether you've thought about this family in years or if they've been on your mind forever, the wealthy entrepreneur Cleon Chanderet has invited you all to his private estate to celebrate his 103rd birthday. Not only is it odd that he would invite so many people that he barely knows or barely remembers to his home, but it's also rumored that he's been a recluse for the last 2 years. You can only hope that he's decided, in all his generosity, to pass on his estate and his enormous wealth to his successor, as Julian never had any children. Which of you would say would arrive first to the estate?
the good
Definitely
Reverend,
not me.
the good Reverend is punctual to a fault. I think he misread the invitation and is there an hour early.
Well,
Read the mountain time or whatever it is, Eastern time instead of the, so.
your private boat ride across the waters to the island would have you meeting with the butler, an individual dressed almost purely in black, as if he were at a funeral, not a party. And you step off the boat, and he would explain the rules to all of you. There are 4 of them. As your bags are unloaded from the boat driver, he stands, waits a moment. There are 4 rules. The day will begin with cocktails at 3 p.m. sharp. Do not be late. All cell phones, cameras, and other electronics must be left at the front gate. You can tell no one your real name. You will be assigned a name. And the final rule, trust no one. It hands you a small card, a small name tag that says Reverend Green. Whatever your name was before this, it is irrelevant. You are escorted up to the estate. Stopping at the gate, any sort of recording device or cell phone is immediately confiscated, and you are allowed into the sprawling manor. The rest of you, one by one, arrive, be given the same spiel. Do not be late. Leave all cell phones behind. Tell no one your real name, and trust no one. You've got call. Thank you so much for the follow. Now, set the scene as you're all gathered around the ballroom. Drinks are being had. They haven't asked any of you your orders, but they've brought out various trays of various finely mixed and finely aged alcohols. I would like to, wow. Word. End the scene. They use a term for it. It's not end.
Conclude. Finish.
Resolve.
Resolve.
Yes.
That's it. Yes.
Yes. As you're all standing around, you hear the dinner bell go off, the chimes all calling you to the table. I would like to resolve the scene.
I think I have an idea.
Okay.
Sergeant Gray would have been taking his time getting used to the finery, and it is only at the chime of the bell that he sees his wife across the way. And then walks off, like before saying anything.
I am going to assign a blue to Mrs. Peacock, because this outcome ends positively.
Oh, hey, question real quick. Because during the middle part, don't we need to know what blue and red and stuff dice we got? Are you keeping track of that? Or are we keeping track of that?
You should keep track of it.
Okay.
So, Mrs. Peacock, why does this scene end positively?
How or
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Well, for me, I see that Sergeant Gray sees me, and I go on, and I just grab myself another gin martini, because those are floating around, and I when I see that he looks at me, I also look up, but I very quickly recover and do not. And then when I realize that he is still looking, I look up and I do a little wave.
It ends civilly. There's that tension, but the two of you decide to just leave it where it is and both head off for dinner. As you're all escorted in, food is brought out. You still have yet to see Julien Chaneret, your benefactor for the evening. But nonetheless, Mr. Scarlet, would you like to establish a scene or resolve a scene?
Let's establish one.
Go for it.
So Mr. Scarlet, looking fairly immaculate, bright red shirt, black jacket, this tumbler of whiskey, neat. Looking, well, honestly, he looks like an arrogant kind of douchebag. And immediately, even everyone else is, kind of gathering and, being maybe polite conversation or whatever. You find him over with one of the wait staff. Probably a younger woman, preferably blonde. And he is flirting outrageously, dropping names. You might have heard of me. There was that whole Calvin Klein ad line for a while, and a couple things like that. I was talking to my friend George the other day, and he was saying that we should do a movie or something. It'd be great. That's George Lucas. That guy. Yeah, it would be great.
Oh yeah,
And,
he
so-
of
and
course
it-
gets like the friendly smiles and that. Yep.
Yeah, so that's what he's kind of ignoring everything else at this moment and focusing on this.
Slight, because if for anyone that knows me, you can know that I can't help but altering the rules. I'm gonna throw a spin on this, and I'm going to simply take a die. Assign this to Colonel Mustard.
Oh.
But die. This scene ends poorly. Why?
All right, so having absolutely no social awareness of the flirting that is going on between Mr. Scarlet and this waitstaff, I think he's going to like completely interrupt the conversation in some way. Of just he sees that Mr. Scarlet is also a whiskey connoisseur as himself. And well, yeah, just like completely butt into the conversation. It's like, oh, I see that you only drink the finest.
What? You don't see we're talking?
They've taken this
or-
opportunity to simply turn and go help other guests.
Oh God, damn it!
Oh, my apologies, but hey, the night is young.
Unlike some of us.
And his brow just furrows. It's like it clears his throat and walks away.
Watch out! That caterpillar on your eyebrow looks like it's ready to eat something.
Ooh, already bad blood between Mr. Scarlet and Colonel Mustard. Okay. Speaking of, Colonel Mustard, would you like to set a scene or resolve a scene?
Ooh. I think. Yeah, well, let's set a scene. That sounds fun. I think eventually, Colonel Mustard will recognize kind of vaguely who Sergeant Gray is. And that it's been years at this point, years upon years at this point. Colonel Mustard has completely like grown facial hair and it's gone white and he looks incredibly different. But Sergeant Gray just notices that Colonel Mustard is just like really looking at Sergeant Gray.
Can I help you?
And I think you might have one of those faces that just looks familiar.
No. I don't get that a lot. Wait a second.
Take a red die, please.
Do what?
Take a red die, please.
Oh no.
After me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Gray is going to look at Colonel Mustard, say, "You son of a bitch," and smack the drink out of his hand.
What a hothead.
Oh,
And I beg your pardon.
Beg all you like. We're done. And that stays done.
Oh god, none of these people like each other. It's not
Well,
fun.
yes, clue.
You gave me the rundown. What am I
I
supposed to
really, I really enjoy Reverend Green. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, we get along quite well.
Well,
Speaking of hot dishes,
Sergeant Gray, as you smack the drink out of Colonel Mustard's hand, turn. Would you like to set a scene or resolve a scene? And Link, thank you so much for the donation. We heckin' appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think Sergeant Gray, trying to calm himself down. Let's see. I've already had scenes with Miss Peacock and Colonel Mustard. So, I think Sergeant Gray is gonna go talk to Reverend Green.
Ooh. Reverend Green, I will give you the choice here, red or blue.
Is this die to go to Gray or to me?
I'm letting you pick, and you're choosing who you want to give it to.
Got it. I think Gray should get a blue die.
Sergeant
Okay.
Gray, take a blue die.
Just keeping
Oh.
track of that for my own reasons.
Oh, hello, Sergeant. How are you
Gray.
this evening?
Gray. That's and
You
are you actually man the cloth?
Yep. Yes, I am. Through the family, it's kind of a tradition and whatnot. Yeah. Yep.
A tradition in the family.
But my father was a reverend, and his father before him, and things like that. Is that strange for you?
Unusual a bit. Well, most of the reverends I know, that's the end of the line.
Oh, really? Oh no, not for Boy, it shouldn't be an atheist who's playing a reverend here. Oh boy. Oh, lots of rule
Our
breakers
reverend's
all the
later
way
in life.
back.
Well, that at least gives me peace of mind to know that I might not be the only one breaking the rules from now and again.
Oh, I think one of the reasons that we're probably here tonight is that some of us aren't exactly afraid to, bend the rules, get in our way a bit. Nothing too drastic, obviously, but just keeping things fair for everyone. Speaking of which, it looks like you lost yourself a drink. Shall I get you one? I was about to refresh my own.
Sure,
Well,
that'd be nice.
You strike me as a whiskey neat kind of a person, or would I be reading?
That's the without ice, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
That's good.
And I will get him a whiskey, and I am having Coke.
Nice.
Is this a heavy-handed pour, by chance?
Oh goodness, yes.
So, Sergeant Gray might be getting a little tipsy for this evening.
And that is genuinely, Reverend Green is like, I think this fella could use a little extra encouragement. It's not a, fuck this guy. It's a blue die that I'm giving him, so.
Hey, I think a little extra encouragement is the perfect thing for Sergeant Gray, right?
I'm also treading real light around the guy that I think I'm having an affair with his wife with.
Yep.
I mean, is it still officially married, or is it like, I don't know.
I mean,
They've all but signed the papers, right?
we're disclosing money amounts right now.
I think if we're deciding this, I feel like the character that I've done so far is the kind that is refusing to sign the final papers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Mrs. Peacock, your husband and your lover are currently having drinks and cheersing.
Yes, I see this, and the wait staff is walking by, and I'm just like, I already have my gin martini, and somebody walks by, and there's like a flute of champagne, and I also picked that up. I have two. After I see this, and, and I would like to, of course, I see Mr. Scarlet, and he's just looking so dreamy. I mean, I'm not, from what he said, his usual type, but I don't care. I just want a good conversation.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Scarlet, would you like to assign a red or blue die to someone?
Let's do a blue die. And let's give that to the good Colonel.
Colonel Mustard, you have a blue die. So, Mr. Scarlet, as you are approached by the double-fisting Mrs. Peacock, the scene is going to end positively. How does it end?
So Scarlet is he's kind of slumped in one of the chairs, maybe pouting just a little bit due to, the earlier incident. And he's just kind of chilling with his drink and looks up, sees this peacock walking over, 2 drinks in her hands, and it's like, oh, hey, lady after my own heart. Hey, have a seat.
I sit down and I hand Mr. Scarlet the champagne flute.
I see you got some taste. Well, Mrs. Peacock, is it? And he's ostensibly looking at the name tag, but there's a good chance he ain't just looking at the name tag. Well, I will say, pretty as a peacock, that's for certain.
Well, yeah, I mean, birds of a feather, right?
Indeed. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So tell me, and I look at Mr. Scarlet's chest looking for the name tag. Also, not looking at just the name tag. And I'm like, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh, me?
Mr. Scarlet. Red's my favorite color.
Oh, really?
Yes, I mean...
Oh, I think I might be becoming a little partial to blue myself.
I mean, that is the color of our dice tonight. No.
Oh, me, there's not much to tell, I do a little modeling, acting, that kind of thing.
Of course
like
you
to have
do.
Fun. No.
Is that, since it's just for fun, do you have the benefactor?
Factor. Well, I
Do you
have
make
a
a
decent
living?
amount. Oh, I have a decent amount of money, sitting in the bank, just waiting.
Excellent.
A little bit here and there, that kind of thing. Yeah, my grandpa, he was loaded.
I love that for your grandpa.
Oh,
I
man,
mean,
yeah.
thanks,
for me, because
Granddaddy.
when he died, he left it all to me.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Yeah.
I also was left some money by my granddaddy.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You know what a great place to spend money is?
Tell me.
You ever been to the Caribbean?
The way you said that, sorry. Well, no, I haven't got to travel much. I mean, I'm sure you could tell I'm a young lady from Mississippi.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing wrong with Mississippi, really. I mean, I'm
Have
not
you
sure where it
been
is. I mean,
That's okay. Your job's not to be smart. Your job's to look pretty.
I basically go between New York and California, and overseas and that kind of thing.
Oh, a jet setter. Okay, that's nice. I've never left the States.
Really? Well, maybe we should change that.
Yes, I think that would be nice.
I think so too.
Reverend Green, it's your friend. We'll go with friends for the moment. Is having a very lovely conversation with Mr. Scarlet. Would you like to establish a scene or resolve a scene?
Well, at the moment, I'm trying to figure out how to make my Discord stop making a whole bunch of beeping noises at me. So I'd love to resolve that.
If you go into settings, you can turn on streamer mode.
That thing. Oh, yes, of course. I can definitely do that. Well, I'll poke at that in just a minute. I guess I've been hanging out a little bit too much with Peacock. It's just, it rubs off, I guess. I think I would like to resolve a scene, actually. Yeah, since no one's done that, I'd like to see how that one rolls, as it were.
If none of you object, I would love to help you to set that scene.
Beautiful. Do I choose what die or anything like that, or what is the? I forget what it is.
So after I set it, as you're going to finish it, then yeah, you would choose either red or blue to give to someone else. But say as all of you are having your cocktails and heading off to take your seats around the table, the food being brought out, continuing these conversations amongst you, you look down at the end of the table and see that your benefactor still has not arrived. How would you like to resolve this scene?
Is this where someone? Can anyone say anything?
This would be for Reverend Green.
Okay.
Well, noticing that it's been a little while, and I'm sure people are getting hungry and whatnot. I think that I yeah. So seeing my friend over there chatting with my other friend, and things are fine. It's fine. And also everyone's hungry and starting to get a little restless. I think Green is just going to prepare a red dice and stand up and be like, "Oh, hey, I just wanted to maybe to help pass the time and stuff. There's something that I love to do with some of my congregation when things are a little touch and go, and I would just love if we could play charades." And I think Mr. Scarlet would be a lovely person to lend us off, to start us off. Mr. Scarlet, if you would.
Mr. Scarlet, you have a red dice.
I'm no good at this stuff.
Oh, you're in
charades? What is this? Come on.
Why don't you just do one of your old classics or something, one that we used to talk about and stuff, some of those that you've always said, hands off, some of the animal ones like the peacock, hands off. I mean, anything that you wanted to do.
Yeah, and he totally does not get the subtext of anything you just said. And he just kind of looks, I guess, oh, okay, yeah, I got one. All right, so 2 words, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, we actually doing it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Easy.
Pour.
There. Yeah. Good. He holds up his empty glass.
Water. Got it. Yeah, I'll get you a glass of water. No problem, friend.
I thought you said just 2 words. Pour a drink?
Pour water. And I'm sure that the charades then die down. But as long as the other charades are also stopping, that's just fine.
Yeah, no, he totally turns back to Mrs. Peacock and is just. So.
Can you believe
Ooh.
that? Oh my. Well.
Well.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. Well, I didn't know that. I would have brought you water if I had known.
Not much of a water guy.
Oh, okay.
Well,
And the Reverend always wants me to drink water. You know, I know him from elsewhere.
When so Mrs. Peacock takes and sips a little bit of the martini. Is like, I'm very familiar.
Mr. Scarlet, would you like to set a scene or resolve a scene?
You know, I want to resolve one this time, I think.
Okay. Would anyone like to set the scene?
If no one else has one,
I
go
might
ahead.
have an idea, since
Go for it.
Gray and Mr. Scarlet haven't interacted yet. I think it might be fun to, since Mr. Scarlet is having to ostensibly pour his own drink, since nobody got his charade, then they might meet at the drink table while they're making drinks and have a conversation there.
There you go, Mr. Scarlet.
Oh, can I actually say what Sergeant Gray would start off the conversation with?
Please.
Just so you know, rumor mill and whatnot, that Mrs. Peacock, she's married.
Oh. I
That's
suppose
your
it's a good thing to know.
Excellent.
Mr. Scarlet, would you like to assign a red or blue die?
Is there a way that this could go blue die?
No, it's totally red.
Is there?
Who's getting it?
Yeah, and I'm gonna give that to. I'm gonna give that one to the sergeant actually. And he's just, just not very drawn out. He's just kind of like, oh, okay, and kind of finishes mixing his drink. Yeah, but she's still hot as fuck. And turns around and walks away.
I got dark hair. What?
What? So
There's definitely some stewing going on.
it sounds like both Sergeant Gray and Reverend Green are trying to get the message across, and Mr. Scarlet is completely oblivious. 100%.
100%.
Completely oblivious. Okay. Real quick, as we are getting close to the end of the first act, how many dice do we have? Just go around the same order of the table. Mr. Scarlet, how many dice you got? Just one. Colonel Mustard, 1. Sergeant Gray, 3. Miss Peacock, 1. Reverend Green,
None.
nada.
I'm very okay with that. I kind of love.
All right. Colonel Mustard, would you like to establish a scene or resolve a scene?
I think I would like to establish another scene. Yeah, as we're waiting for our benefactor to show up, and the time is ticking, the minute hand is just going round and round the clock. Colonel Mustard is going to stand up, and if no one's having conversation at the moment, it's just would anyone like to hear my stories about all of my travels and whether or not people actually do want to hear? He's going to just start talking about his travels to various countries, continents, all of that. And do I use? Oh wait, no, I don't. I established a scene, so someone has to resolve it.
If any of you would like to resolve.
I've already had my scene with Ernest.
I know. I'm good. I think someone else should. Because don't worry, Colonel Mustard, I'm coming for you.
I know. I was like, I'm gonna collect all of the red dice at this point. Like,
Oh,
they are chaos emeralds at this point for me.
I was gonna say, if no one else has anything,
Please.
I would love to take it. And
yeah,
just,
go ahead. Go for that one.
And so Gray and Scarlet are sort of doing their thing at the bar, and they've just separated, and Peacock is over there getting more and more tipsy, and Colonel is now, standing in the middle of the room, chatting with everyone. I think Reverend Green will just listen for a moment, and then go, who wants to play pool? And then go to the billiards room. And give you a red die as everyone walks out of your speech.
Oh. Oh.
Big Baron, all right.
That's another red die to Colonel Mustard.
The Reverend is cutthroat. I knew I liked him.
Sergeant Gray, as mid-story, everyone has kind of started to meander off, leaving Colonel Mustard probably talking to a lot of the wait staff. So it's you.
Enough.
Would you like to
Yes,
set a
you're
scene
waiting.
or resolve a scene? Sergeant Gray.
Oh, I think resolve. I'm good with that.
Okay. Would anyone like to set a scene? As a reminder for everyone, you can use these opportunities to use flashbacks. Like if Colonel Mustard wanted to flashback to maybe how the two of you know each other, or Mrs. Peacock flashing back to your last meeting with your divorce attorney.
Yep. I love that.
But yeah, wherever you'd like to take it, by all means.
So we're all in the billiard room, correct? Okay.
Having left the table as your benefactor just refuses to show up.
Okay. Well, because my husband will not divorce me. He will not sign those papers. I would like to interact fully with Sergeant Gray, and I'd like to set up the scene. All I have to do is describe what happens, correct? And do I get to give a die as well?
So you set up the scene, and then Sergeant Gray will hand out the die.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm feeling pretty good at this point. And so I have a little bit of that liquid courage, and I go up to Sergeant Gray, and I'm like, now, I know that I am not your favorite person in the world right now, but, and I'm not going to talk brass tacks here at this lovely event, which, by the way, where is the benefactor? Like,
Good question.
I mean, do you know any of these people here other than myself?
I have an inclination as to who a few of them might be, yes.
Well, you're more ahead than I am. But I just would like to be able to cross those parting lines tonight and have a good evening. Can we agree?
I think that is a fair request, and I have no problem with granting it.
Well, I knew you were a reasonable person. And I'm counting on that reason, later this month. And and she just takes a sip of her martini.
Okay.
Now, here's something I don't want to decide for Mrs. Peacock, but what would be her given name?
Oh.
Names don't matter here.
I know, but in this one moment.
Okay, I'm tracking. Okay. Her name is her real name is Margaret, but she goes by Margot.
Okay. Then, as he makes the promise to be civil, he'll say, Margot, you should know you're wrong about one thing. You are one of my favorite people in the world.
Well, I mean, well, I appreciate that.
I appreciate a night of peace.
Agreed. And as a waitstaff walks by, I grab another martini, but I hand it to Sergeant Gray if he is willing to take it.
Sergeant Gray will take the martini and, with a slightly sour look on his face, down it so he doesn't have to worry about it again. He accepts the olive branch, but he hates martinis.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, brown liquor, clear liquor, not the same.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, the butler, Wadsworth, would come up, wait for your conversation to be over. My apologies, Sergeant Gray, but I believe that you have chosen to not follow the rules. And gonna give both of you another red die.
No! Oh, God. Okay.
I would like to disagree, good sir. I have not told anyone my real name. And neither has Mrs. Peacock not followed the rules because it was previous knowledge. If the host wanted us to be gathered together and for nobody to say any names whatsoever, then it would have been incumbent on the host to not invite people who already knew who each other were.
The entire time he is just smiling. Of course. Just keeps the rest of the rules in mind. In return,
Of course.
head back off to the kitchen.
Mrs. Peacock is really into Sergeant Gray right now. Like, there was like a brief moment where she is like,
Now,
oh, damn. Like,
I am fine with taking the red. Can I use Sergeant Gray's little reversal to give Mrs. Peacock a blue instead?
Oh, sorry. I was not clear. I'm giving each of you a red die that you can assign to somebody.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay, great. Go on.
Then I think I'll give the red die to Reverend Green.
I thought so. Figured.
Over there talking like you don't have any dice while I'm sitting here with 3.
Well, I am going to give my red die to Mr. Scarlet since red is his favorite color.
All right. And with that, I believe, if I've counted correctly,
1, 2, 3.
that is 10 die out of the pool. A vast majority of the remaining die are blue, so that bodes well for the second half of this game.
Yeah.
What you're going to do right now is take your die and roll them. You subtract keep the red dice and the blue dice separate. You roll all of them and you subtract the higher one from the lower one. So if you have more red dice, you would subtract that from your blue dice roll. If you only have either red or blue, then you just roll them and add them up.
Do you want us to roll the physical dice, or do you want to roll them from the pool?
Just let me know.
Because it's like I have some d6s. I rolled a 5.
So you have total of 5 blue, Colonel Mustard?
Yep. Yep.
I have 5 red.
5 red from Reverend Green.
I have 5 blue because I only have blue.
5 blue.
6 red, because I only have red.
6 red.
I ended up with 1 blue because I rolled a 2 and a 3 on the red dice and a 6 on the blue.
So, Mr. Scarlet, you get to choose, because you had the highest of red, you get to choose one of the twists. Or, sorry, tilts.
Ooh.
It is mayhem, tragedy, innocence, guilt, paranoia, or failure.
Oh, let's go with paranoia.
Paranoia. One of our twists is paranoia. And Colonel Mustard and Mrs. Peacock, the two of you tied. So who wants odd and who wants even?
It's like odd.
Okay, I'll take even.
4. Mrs. Peacock. What's the other
Yay.
twist? Or tilt?
Mayhem.
Mayhem, tragedy, innocence, guilt, paranoia, or failure?
Tragedy.
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 We have tragedy and paranoia. All right. Well, we are going to take a quick break there, give everyone a chance to stretch your legs, grab a drink, do what you gotta do, and we will come back as the culminating event kicks off the second chapter of this game, and we get to see when things start getting real messy. The niceties, or the non-niceties in some of our cases, have been spread, and now we get to see the effects. Give us just a few minutes, and we'll be back to finish off the first game of our charity event. As a reminder, we are supporting the Trevor Project. It is a wonderful organization that helps at-risk LGBTQ youth. They have tons of outreach programs. They're the largest organization of their kind. So if you can, please don't put yourselves in any kind of financial bind. But if you can, consider donating. Every cent goes to them. And for every $10 you donate, your name will be added to a drawing for a bunch of really cool prizes. We're giving away a bunch of cool PDFs to different games tonight. And that'll happen at the end of the session. So, yeah, with that, I guess we'll see you soon, everybody.
Yeah.
And welcome back. So I kick off the music here. A little more tense music, which I'm going to share with all of you real quick. You can hear what the stream is hearing.
By the way, I forgot to share this in the break, so I will share it when we have viewers. My partner was originally watching us. She is also studying for a very important exam, and she had to stop watching because we were taking too much of her concentration.
I love that.
There.
Also, sorry.
Not sorry.
She'll watch the VOD later, it's fine.
So our tilts were tragedy. Someone's life is about to change forever in a bad way. And paranoia. Two people cross paths and everything changes. Keep these tilts in mind as we jump into the second half of the story, which I set the scene for us. As you are all finally feeling the drinks, just waiting for your benefactor to come and pay you all a visit, that's when the power goes out across the entirety of the estate. Everything is pitch black. The rain is just pattering against the windows. There is a scream from the main dining hall. Who would like to resolve this scene?
So-
do we know whose screaming is? Is it me?
If you'd like to resolve it,
I would love to resolve it.
would you like to give, or would you like to take a red or a blue die?
Ooh, hold on, let me look at the dice pool. What do we got?
7 red and 3 blue.
Yeah. I really hate to take the blue so quickly, so I'm gonna take a red one.
Take a red.
It would be kind of difficult to make a blood-curdling scream go blue, but, you know, whatever.
Not true. That too.
So yeah, how did this scene end positively?
Oh, wait. So I took a red die. Does
Oh,
that...
negative. I meant negative.
Okay, I was just like, okay. Yeah, I mean, Colonel Mustard being in the middle of the room where that happened, like, he would, like, you know, jump and, like, you know, try to, like, figure out, like, where the lights are, like, where the scream came from, and probably just, like, crash into something.
Yeah. Any idea what it is that he crashes into?
Ooh.
Grand piano.
If you don't, I
Oh.
have an idea.
Yeah, please throw out your ideas.
The body.
Oh my god. I don't know about that one. I probably like some type of like coffee table or something. He didn't remember that it was there right in front of him, or at least at the height or the width that it was. So he's kind of tripping over that and knocks over something that makes a really loud sound, like a vase or something like that.
Ooh.
Love that. Love that.
Just find yourself suddenly feet no longer under you. Just slam yourself into a stand of something, and then you hear the wobbling, and then who knows how old it was or how much it was worth, but a priceless vase just comes shattering to the floor.
And as it shatters, ash goes everywhere as well.
That's so
It was
awesome and
fun.
horrible at the same time. I love it.
A red
Oh,
dice,
Carl.
well earned.
Not
So-
the floor
so good.
sprinkles.
Um,
Oh my god.
You've heard of the floor is lava, but here's the floor is ash.
Ash. Yeah.
floor
Damn.
sprinkles.
Dead people.
we'll go.
Oh
Grandma.
my god.
Damn, Colonel Mustard.
We'll go reverse order for the second half.
Causing all
Reverend
the
Green.
problems.
Would you like to initiate a scene or resolve a scene?
Let's see. So we just heard a blood-curdling scream. I don't really have anything for how I would do that, so I think I would love to resolve
Oh,
something if someone else wants to
yeah. Who wants to set the scene?
take the ball.
Is it still dark or the lights
Oh,
come on?
pitch black.
All right. Are we all in the room with Colonel Mustard, or are we still in the billiards room? Did that ever get changed?
As far as I know, you were all in the billiards room.
Okay, great. I will set the scene because Mrs. Peacock's feeling pretty good. She is just, she's getting a little perturbed at this point that the benefactor has not showed up. Like, she just wants to celebrate and eat some cake, okay? Like, she's having a full moment. And and with the lights are off, she does not scream. Like, she's like, oh, this is silly. And then she just starts saying, starts talking out loud, and she's like, Well, y'all heard that, right? I mean, the lights are off, yeah, but did somebody hit something? Did anybody?
Maybe I passed out, but I didn't drink that much.
Reverend
Of
Green, would
course
you
you-
like a red or a blue die?
I think I want a red die.
Take a red die, please.
Alrighty. Oh right, they're for us. Dang, maybe I should take
It's for you.
Um.
That is a scene end negatively for you.
Yeah. Right.
Mrs. Peacock is literally just like talking to the darkness. She does not care. I can't believe it.
Oh damn! I'm just like completely blanking. Does anyone have an idea?
Yeah. If anyone has
I'm just
ideas, please feel free. Throw them out.
Completely blanking. It's almost as black in my head as it is in the room.
I think so. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you should be like, because I'm a little bit tipsy and you are not. That relationship dynamic that can happen occasionally in terrible relationships, where one person's having a good time and the other is not, and you like essentially tell me to shut up, but in the most reverent way.
Peacock, Miss Peacock, please, will you, Margot, will you please, just
No, everybody's breaking the
Y'all
rules.
breaking the rules.
Please take another red die. This one is for you.
Me?
No, for Reverend Green.
yeah. I mean, so I now have another.
Two.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, whoops, dang. All right, and then I think after the refusal of you listening and the assumingly the butler probably whispered in my ear that I take a red die, I'm just gonna and like just wander kind of in a direction in the dark and find myself at the bar and just be like, the hell with it, and just pour some whiskey into my Coke.
I love it. But no one sees you do it. You just grab what you think is whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want something.
Reverend
It's
Green
gonna
actually
stump.
kind of separates from the rest to overpour some kind of alcohol.
I will say important thing that I meant to say previously but didn't. Since we were in the billiard room, I was going to have Sergeant Gray bringing in a fifth from the serving table. So that would have been something that Sergeant Gray would have put down.
Perfect. I love it.
There you go.
Because I forgot we're in the billiards room now.
I mean, you are
I'll
also
just
There's some booze
welcome.
in there too.
You are welcome to simply
Knowing
wander off.
Julian, there's booze in every room.
Yeah. So you do have access to booze in the billiard room, but if you'd like to wander off and look for the bar, you could do so.
Well, I was more thinking that I just kind of accidentally found the bar, and then because I found myself there, it was kind of like, well, here I am. Sure.
When in Rome.
Love it.
Yeah, right? Like,
Beautiful.
so yeah, maybe I'll grab the fifth. Like, I'll bump into the table that has the fifth, and then just sort of like, and then just keep wandering away and accidentally walk out into the hallway. So yes, I still split off, and I have the fifth.
Beautiful.
And I'm also pleading
Nice.
the fifth. Someone take this from me, please. It's getting too much.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Well, Mrs. Peacock, as you are abruptly told that you are not helping the situation and you need to shush, would you like to establish a scene or resolve a scene?
Depends. I don't know if I'm overstepping boundaries here. Can the lights come back on?
If you'd like to set the scene, you could set it with the lights coming back on, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, that is what I actually was trying to do, but I would like to know if that was possible.
Yes.
So, okay. Yes. I'm going to set the scene, and I would like the lights to come back on. And And now, if I'm overstepping, please. I'm so sorry.
No, please hit us. Go
and
crazy.
I see Reverend Green, like mid pour, but only me, no one else. and and I'm looking for Colonel Mustard because I know that she did not come in here, and I am also looking for Sergeant Gray, but Mr. Scarlet I could give a crap about, honestly.
He's when the lights come on, he is like facing a wall because he didn't realize that there was a wall right in front of him. He's just
He's like, it is
Well,
perfect. It's so himbo.
it's like a bust or a painting or something right there. And the lights come on and he just gets the shit scared out of him.
Well, as Mrs. Peacock heads off to go look for Colonel Mustard, would you like to resolve this scene, Mr. Scarlet?
Sure. Yeah, so
Red or blue?
I'll red.
Red. Take a red die, please.
Red. So the lights come back on, and he is like, say, about 2 inches away from a painting on the wall. And he jumps back, scared, startled, trips over who knows what. He doesn't even know. And the next thing, he is lying on top of the billiards table, just spread out. One hand knocks Sergeant's fifth of whiskey off onto the floor. And he is just staring up at the ceiling like, what the fuck just happened?
I see the alcohol. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I see the
please.
alcohol spill, and though I didn't scream when the lights went off, I scream when that happens.
Is Mr. Scarlet injured in this endeavor in any way?
I mean, he probably tweaked his ankle pretty good.
So I think Colonel Mustard would hear the pain and then the scream from the other room as chaos is ensuing. And Sergeant Gray, would you like to set a scene or resolve a scene?
I think I like to set a scene.
Okay.
It's up to whoever wants to walk in on this, but in the like movie language, Sergeant Gray would be talking to somebody who is obscured by shadow. And saying, yeah. It's all good. It's fine. It's fine. Kind of calming whoever it is down.
Would like to walk in on this? I know Miss Peacock and Reverend Green both were about to take a walkabout. Mr. Scarlet is currently spread eagle on top of the billiards table, and Colonel Mustard is...
This is a wild
On the
party,
floor.
guys.
With the floor sprinkles.
on the
If no one
floor
else
with
wants it.
ashes.
If no one else wants it, I'll happily
Please.
walk in. So after
sorry, red or blue?
Mr. Scarlet, what?
Red or blue?
Oh, right. Yeah, I gotta go red, I think. I don't know how it's gonna exactly go red, but I think I gotta go red. So after Mr. Scarlet knocked the bottle out of Green's hand and it shatters on the floor, and he like picks up the largest part, like in just like this weird frantic like gotta clean, or like make safe, and ends up just having like essentially a bottle shiv in one hand, and it's like, I don't know it, and then like just kind of walk out and sort of like come around a corner and just see Gray right there, and just like, what's happening? And like, and in that moment, the lights go out again.
Oh, chaos. Yes.
Is
Yes.
not to I'll leave this up to someone else to paint, but does another body join the floor at this moment?
I am obviously Reverend Green is leaving. I am wanting to have a one-on-one interaction with Reverend Green. So as I see him leave, I am also like trailing, but very slowly because I'm a little tipsy and I'm having a good time and I love talking about everybody else and myself, like also bitching about the benefactor, like, where are you?
You're drunk, I'm sober, I walk out, lights go down, you collide with me, I fall into the person that Gray's talking to and kill them.
Nice.
Sergeant Gray, who was this person?
The butler.
Oh no!
How dare you? Coming to remind you to not break the rules, and then you just it's okay, it's fine, everything's fine, and then a shiv to the back.
Suck it.
So, can we flash back to what I had in mind?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I had in mind the paranoia, two people cross paths and everything changes, was the butler meeting Sergeant Gray. And Sergeant Gray was going to help the butler solve the butler's problem, which would end up with the butler inheriting the fortune, at the same time solving Sergeant Gray's problem of getting rid of his romantic rival.
Oh.
That he knew about because, of course, he's the type of person that would hire a private investigator to follow his wife.
This tracks.
Private investigator, as you're conveying this information, Reverend Green comes stumbling out with a glass shiv into the back. Boy, I feel like that's definitely a conclusion to that deserves a red die.
Yeah. Well, depending on
Can I just ask? Really quick put an underline on it that the last thing that like happened there is Green going, Gray, what are you doing? Lights go out, stab the butler that he was talking to. So like,
and I think the conclusion, in my opinion, could be that the lights come back on and everybody
You know what?
it.
You changed my mind. With the lights coming back on, I'm gonna give a blue die to Miss Peacock.
Ooh.
As you step out, you hear this commotion, and then the lights are back on, and you notice your two romantic interests both standing over the dead butler's body.
she did it. She pushed me.
I don't think it is right to blame a lady for a man's actions,
No,
Reverend.
that's not what I meant. I just was a pan. I just
You killed a man.
Should I?
Like, I have a delayed scream. I delay scream it. Like I listen to them say that, and then I'm like, like his last.
Well, Colonel
The
Mustard.
plan has changed, and Gray is rolling with it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. I didn't mean to. It was the light.
I am sure we can make sure by talking to the police that they know what happened, but we are going to need to talk to the police. I saw you stab a man.
Well,
I
can't
can't
say
lie
that I
about
saw
that,
anything,
Reverend.
but I mean, but you are holding the murder weapon. um.
Well,
Also, how dare you?
I
first of
didn't
all,
mean to like that. I was.
if we could, Colonel Mustard, as you hear this scream, and from the hallway that connects the dining hall to the billiards room, you hear another scream. Would you like to set a scene or resolve a scene?
I'd like to resolve the scene.
If anyone has an idea, by all means. Otherwise, I have a wonderful idea.
You know what? I'll let you go with that, Hoop.
Yeah, we just murdered you, so you might as well.
Yeah.
You know, right?
For all of the characters of mine that you've killed, it's
I wish-
only right
I was
that my
gonna-
decisions
as
get one
many
of your
times
characters
I've
killed
watched
this
True.
time.
Ruth kill people, like this is so fair.
Very fair. Well, Colonel Mustard, as you start picking yourself up, brushing yourself off, as you're far dustier than you remember, a
Mhm,
priceless
mhm.
vase
We're
scattered
not going to
across
talk
the
about
floor.
that.
It's not one, not two, but 3 bodies that you see. One seated at the head of the dining table. Julian, your benefactor for the evening, who had come to finally join you all at dinner, and in the darkness seems to have undergone an unfortunate accident with a bread knife protruding from his back. And both staff members that have been helping you for this evening both lie dead at his side. How would you like, a red or a blue tie?
You know, I haven't taken a blue die, so we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna get interesting with it. I'm gonna take a blue die.
And next to all the bodies is
and-
all of the alcohol, still there, untouched, perfectly.
It's perfect. No, for the blue die, I would like to, Colonel Mustard is going to, I mean, he's seen so many bodies in his life that he's a little less fazed by that and more wants to figure out what happened. Like, how did we get here? Why are there 3 bodies now? Why is everyone screaming? So he's going to be searching around to see if there's any trace of, I don't know, corner of a rug that's lifted up as if someone had tripped over it a little bit, or if the door is more ajar than it was before. Anything that could be, investigation worthy. That's what Colonel Mustard is going to be doing right now.
I mean, you tell me. Is there anything to find? Or is Colonel Mustard just now lost in an investigation? The rest of the occupants of this house just lost to his mind?
I mean, he hears all the... with the billiard room, I feel like he, is close enough to hear all of the other guests arguing amongst themselves, and he's like, it's too much commotion, too much noise going on right now. I'll consult them later. I'm going to get to my investigation. And with the blue die, yeah, I want to say that he does find something. I will say that he finds the glass that was placed at Julian's spot at the table that was clean before, but he finds a set of fingerprints on the glass now.
Okay.
Colonel Mustard PI, let's go.
It was me!
Well, Mr. Scarlet, you are alone in the billiards room. You hear a commotion, you hear a scream going on out in the hall. To pick yourself up off the table, would you like to set a scene, or why can I never remember the terminology they use? Resolve. Thank you.
Solve.
So actually, I would like to set a scene that is a flashback. If we can do that. With the Colonel. So this would have happened, who knows, maybe about a month ago, let's say. Scarlet would have gone to see the colonel, and after some small talk or whatever, look, I need the rest of the money. I need what's in the account. I can't keep going like this with you having control over everything. Just because you were friends with Gramps and everything. I don't understand why you won't let me have the rest of this. You know, if we keep going like this and I can't put this money where I want it, Julian is going to find a way to get a hold of it. You know, he always wanted Gramps' money. And now, I mean, it's like he's like a goddamn shark. There'll smell blood in the water. You get it out of here. Maybe I can find someplace in the Caymans or something. You know, and my agent was talking about, you know, like these cat harbor kind of things. I don't really get it in the math, and there's math involved, but you know.
And that's precisely why. That's precisely why that I'm in charge of it. The math, you don't get it.
Yeah.
I've been at this for how long? I know how to manage funds.
You're like half senile, I swear. You don't know the new stuff. I mean, I'm telling you. Ari was talking about all these new ways of doing things and, you know, moving money around that just really don't. I don't think you understand any of this stuff. It's not 1950 anymore.
It's not 1950. There are new ways for people to scam other new people to the industry, like yourself. You know, Grant was really wise.
Colonel Mustard, are you taking a red or a blue die?
Oh. I don't know. I feel like all of the inter-character interactions have ended poorly. Do I keep doing that?
Make a blue die and embezzle his money.
Oh my god.
Keep in mind, we switched the pools. I don't think we said that.
Oh.
Oh, we didn't.
There are more red dice.
Yes. So we should have had 7 blue and 3 red. I decided to be an agent of chaos and switch it, so we had 7 red and 3 blue.
Oh my god. I don't know. I don't know how to recover this in a positive way, so I'm gonna make it negative again. As much as I hate to do that.
Take a red die, please.
Alright. Haha. It's like, you come here with questions, and my answer is still no. I don't think this is the wisest way to go about it. There are lots of people that want the money as well, and not just Julian. There's all these other people that are going to try to pretend to be your friends, but once the money is dried up, will be nowhere to be seen. Guess who's been here since the beginning?
Oh, you're that old?
Perhaps.
Right.
It's me, Moses. That's actually his name.
Oh.
Moses Mustard.
Moses Mustard.
Moses
It's canon.
You can take a red die, please, Colonel Mustard.
This is a flashback. What do you mean?
You broke the rule. The butler
How is that breaking the
always
rules? This was
knows.
a flash. He's dead.
Hillary knows after death.
The butler always knows.
The butler is absolutely an eldritch entity, and I will not hear anything else.
Canon.
Oh my god.
So we ended with Mr. Scarlet's funds being fully sealed away. You are not getting to your money.
It's my money, and I will get it one way or another. And he just.
You were going to say it. I need it now.
We've been conditioned. And I hate it. I hate it here.
I'm sorry.
Ooh. So, Mr. Scarlet has time. The others are preoccupied. The lights have got on and off a few times. Is he staying in the billiards room, or has he slipped out?
Once he's managed to roll himself off of the table, and he is kind of limping around, and he would be making a line back towards the dining room to look for Colonel Mustard.
I
slowly and kind of whining the whole time.
would love to interject here, and the lights are on. I'm going to turn the lights off.
Well, I'm gonna turn them back on again.
Just want to see where I'm going.
So, Reverend Green,
What makes you plan to be playing with the lights like that?
would you like to set a scene or resolve a scene?
Who?
Reverend Green.
Oh, me. Oh shit.
You
Okay.
are currently being accused of murder.
Right. No, I. Yeah, I'll set it. So I'm standing there being accused of murder, right? I have just let go of the murder weapon. Gray is standing in front of me, Peacock behind. Scarlet is about to amble out of the door. And in a panic, Green is just gonna and shut the lights to the hallway off and run to the main hall where Mustard is. Like, I mean, did you say the lights are back on or are they off again?
Off.
They're off. Then they stay off, and I'm just gonna bolt to a different room. I'm gonna bolt to the room with Colonel Mustard, and like,
And Mr. Scarlet.
right, and Mr. Scarlet, and find a light switch that actually just works somehow. Maybe a little lantern. I find a goofy little kerosene lantern.
Little flame
And I get it going and like, hi, how are you? And then just see three bodies and like, fuck.
Mr. Colonel, or sorry, Colonel Mr. Colonel Mustard.
Mr. Colonel.
Mr. Colonel. Colonel Mustard, surrounded by bodies. Who would like to finish the scene? 2 red and a blue dice left.
I mean, I'll totally do it. No one else wants to.
Red or blue?
I mean, I'll take a red. So, by that point, Scarlet kind of stumbles through the door, still limping on his ankle, bumps against the door in the dark. Lights come back. He's staring and like, the hell did you do? And he faints. And he is not. He just collapses right into Grandma's ashes.
My God.
Oh no.
Reverend Green, if you
Not
would
the
like to tag in as you see Colonel Mustard, you whip the lantern around, see Mr. Scarlet, and Mr. Scarlet just drops. No noise, no explanation, just drops.
Where did my thing go? I need a. Okay, hang on 1 second. Odds, evens. Okay, so I rolled for it. How many red die we have left? You said.
One of each. Well, technically you have 1 red or blue, and then the last one is always wild.
Got it. Mr. Scarlet, as he faints, Reverend Green, just like in the state of shock over bodies, and then seeing his buddy come in, clearly injured, probably even has a little blood on him from fall, or just like everything has blood on it now in Reverend Green's eyes, and he's just like, sees his friend falling and dives and catches Scarlet before he goes to the ground and hurts himself further.
Oh.
But he had a kerosene lit lamp.
Oh no.
Which,
Pressed
presumably,
onto the bodies.
goes flying out of your hand, soars, and then comes to a smash.
Is that too much? Is that too much?
No, I
No.
love it.
No,
That's
There's so many
great.
red dice out there. Everyone's dead.
Gotta destroy the evidence somehow, right?
Colonel Mustard, the room that you're in is starting to burn. Would you like to set a scene or resolve a scene?
Would resolving a scene include putting out the fire?
What?
Alright, great. I would love to take a blue die to do that.
So you want to resolve the scene then?
Yes.
I'd like to set the scene for this moment.
Do we have to be present
Nope.
to... Okay. I would like to, because Sergeant Gray and Mrs. Peacock were separate from everyone else whenever the fire went down. I would like to state that Sergeant Gray was purposefully and valiantly getting Mrs. Peacock to safety once the fire started, because it spread to the entire mansion.
It spread quickly, apparently.
Well, there was
There
all
was
that,
alcohol,
in the
so much alcohol.
So much. So
with
much.
the fire
was
starting
good
to
stuff.
fill corridors, Colonel Mustard. How would you like to resolve the scene?
Oh my god, how am I gonna do this now?
You can do
I'm
it!
going to become the entire fire department, apparently.
You get people out.
Maybe they got a fire alarm. They've got a sprinkler system.
That's
or
what I
something.
was thinking.
Yeah,
I mean, if the fire's really large, it would actually like melt the the little sliver of glass that sets that off. So in addition, Colonel Mustard is going to dart up the stairs to the next floor, find some implement to put a hole in the floor in the bathroom above the room where the main fire is happening, and just dump as much water from the shower from everything that he possibly can.
Okay. How much the fire do you think that would put out?
I don't know if I hit a pipe or something. Like, a pipe burst could do quite a bit.
It absolutely could. Are you at all worried about preserving the bodies, about getting people out, or just pure focused on the fire?
I mean, at this point, he's gonna focus on the people that are alive. So getting them out, like giving them a path to at least like get out of the fire is like, yeah.
The rest of you...
May I add? Oops.
Yes, please, go ahead. Was that a red or blue? I think that was a blue.
Yeah, I think that's a blue.
Add a blue die, please, Colonel Mustard. And yeah, please add.
I just want to add, as Colonel Mustard sort of bolts, I'm getting Scarlet out of the room, and then like everything sort of clicks in my head slightly. I'm gonna lay Scarlet down for a second, grab the other body, drag it into the ballroom, the one that I killed, into the ballroom, and
Still in the hallway.
if it's visible, I want to take the will. If Julian has the will on him or something, I don't know how all this was going to work, but I know that there was some talk of us being in the will.
Yeah.
And then I'm grabbing Scarlet and getting out as well. And I don't need to die or anything. I'm not trying to take a scene, but like, if Colonel Mustard is going to take the time to go upstairs, I have no one around me. And part of me thinks that Reverend Green has actually meant to do all of this.
That's great.
Absolutely. You have the will in hand.
So
we'll see how
sorry.
that turns out. No, please go ahead.
I don't know if this is how it works. Can I take a die?
That was blue underneath.
It's okay. It's okay.
This is the last one. It is a wild card.
It's okay.
So, if someone would like to set the scene so that Miss Peacock could conclude it.
I mean,
Absolutely.
we could set the scene with Sergeant Gray standing with Mrs. Peacock over the, like, seeing down as the mansion is ablaze, and let Mrs. Peacock decide what happens from there.
Yes.
And are we still inside or outside?
I was saying we're, like, outside.
Yeah. Colonel Mustard set off the sprinklers. You all had the ability to get out.
Okay.
And the last red die is yours.
Okay.
And it is wild, so you can
yes,
choose,
red
right?
or blue. Yes, thank you.
Red or blue.
So I do have a quick question. In this moment, when I do this, is this the end of the scene as well? How does this work?
Yes. This is the last die. This is the end of chapter 2. So if you have a need or a secret that you need to resolve, now would be your opportunity.
Okay.
Including setting this scene that maybe someone doesn't escape the fire. Or maybe you shut the door and stopped someone from escaping the fire. Up to you.
So me and Sergeant Gray are outside. We've made it because he made sure that we both made it out, correct?
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay. So this is what I would like to do. So, as Sergeant Gray and I are leaving, the butler's dead body was on the floor. This isn't necessarily a flashback. This is me giving continuity. But I trip, I fall, I'm covered in blood. As I stand up, Sergeant Gray grabs my hand, helps me up, real gentlemanly, and we get outside. And Colonel Mustard and I'm waiting for the guests to come out, and I'm not quite outside. And as this happens, I'm waiting for Reverend Green, and as I see him round the corner with Mr. Scarlet, I see in his hand is the will. Ah, perfect. It's in his teeth. I see him round the corner. He is dragging Mr. Scarlet, and I rush to him as they round the corner, not quite out the door, and I snatch it out of his mouth, and I'm like, I'm so glad you're here. That is so noble of you. And I turn and I run like as fast as I can, knowing that they are probably the last two out. Because he took the time to save Mr. Scarlet. Sorry, Mr. Scarlet. And I come out and I close the door behind me. And when I close the door behind me, the entryway.
The foyer.
Yeah, thank you. The foyer. The foyer collapses, and
goes foy boo.
Reverend Green and Mr. Scarlet were nowhere to be found.
The betrayal.
And I'm holding the will. And I look at Sergeant Gray.
I knew
And
there was a reason you were my favorite person in the world.
be still, my beating heart. What a loss. And I hand it to Sergeant Gray.
One person's loss is another person's gain.
Sorry, Mr. Scarlet.
And within the inferno, it all lifts up, and there's Colonel Mustard just
Listen. I so have a need fulfilled, and that is getting ahead without anyone realizing.
Well,
Look, my secret. This this fits the suspects. So sorry. I'm trying to kill Reverend Green and Mr. Scarlet. My goal is to make sure that they didn't get out. When that happens, I pull my pearl necklace off and just like quickly loop it from the inside.
well,
I'm real messed up.
with that, as all of our dice are gone, as the estate burns to the ground, we'll go to the aftermath. Just like before, you will roll your red dice and your blue dice. Whichever set rolls higher, subtract that from the set that rolled lower.
Now, I actually didn't get any dice from Act 2.
That is absolutely fine. In fact, we can cover you first. So, we'll go down the line, starting with Sergeant Gray. Apropos being at a 0. Your aftermath is the worst thing in the universe. This probably doesn't involve death, since death would be way better than whatever this is. Be creative and don't settle for the first worst thing that comes to mind. There's something darker, more awful, more wretched. What is Sergeant Gray's fate that is the worst thing in the universe?
I was supposed to roll, right?
Yeah, he's got to roll.
Oh, I thought you said you had no dice.
Oh no,
No,
I have 3 dice. I have the same amount of dice that I had before.
I thought you said you had no dice.
No, sorry. I actually think it's slightly more fitting. My blue die was very good to me, and I ended up with a white 3.
So you had 2 red and 1 blue.
Yes.
So, blue 3 is grim. The stress and trauma from your little adventure is going to haunt you forever. Bits of your soul are destroyed and are missing a piece or two. In a few years, children are going to cry when you get too close. Your plans have ended in complete ruin. What is the end for Sergeant Gray?
So I think in this moment, Sergeant Gray is still in a situation where he does not want to let go. And the thing about it is that he might get what he wants, but he is sharing a roof with someone that is also a murderer.
Ruthless.
And they are not happy for the rest of their lives. I'll let Holly continue on with the story. But for Sergeant Gray's part, they're together.
But it is grim. All right, Mrs. Peacock, what was your total?
Okay, so explain this to me one more time.
So how many red dice and how many blue dice do you have?
I have 2 blue dice and 1 red die.
So roll your blue die and roll the red die.
Okay. All right.
Which was high?
The blue.
What was the total there?
The total of the 2 die together.
Yes.
The total was 10.
And then what's your red die total?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Red die total is 4.
So you had a 6. Aftermath 6 blue. Weak. Hey, you're busted, beat, broke down, but at least you've learned a lesson about human greed and frailty, right? It'll serve you well in prison, which is where you are probably headed. What is the ending
that
for
tracks.
Mrs. Peacock?
This is accurate. Um, so it eventually catches up. Um, this is actually why Sergeant Gray and Mrs. Peacock are miserable because they are technically apart because she is on trial for murder. You know, double homicide. It's fine. Murder in the first degree. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. We're gonna be all right, Sergeant Gray. Don't you worry about us. And yeah.
Did Sergeant Gray, did you happen to tip off the authorities by chance?
I definitely made sure in my own way that Mrs. Peacock would her best option would be to stay married to me.
Yes, the good old manipulation. Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Sergeant Gray, probably a war hero, probably also a war criminal.
Little A, little B. Alright. Colonel Mustard, what was your total?
Had a red 4.
Red or savage? Savage is in something is broken or mashed. Maybe you've got a permanent limp or a bad reputation. Plus, you have totally failed.
Well, yeah, he obviously crushed something in the fire. Yeah, he probably needs a cane for the rest of his life.
And, how did you make it out of the fire?
I want to say that he had to, with what remains of the urn that was left in the dining room, had to smash a window to get out, and secretively, cue montage of army crawling to the beach of the island, manages to commandeer the boat to get off, and goes entirely off the grid because he's already gotten away once and he knows he can't get away again and still live in society.
Absolutely. Mr. Scarlet, what was your total?
So I had 4 red dice. I had no blue dice. So my total is a 19.
With a red 19, your result is awesome, insanely great. You will emerge not only unscathed, but if there is a party involved that you are interested in, you have likely drawn their attention. You might even get rich off of this caper. Who knows? What is the end for Mr. Scarlet?
So
There's attempted murder.
Scarlet
Attempted
manages
murder.
to come to just as Mrs. Peacock is closing the door. He catches a glimpse of this. He manages to limp his way along with the Reverend back towards the dining room where he hears the window get shattered and manages to go out the window, though he doesn't see Colonel Mustard leave. Manages to get out, escape the fire, see it from a ways back. In the days following, he gets with his agent, of course, and not only do they come up with a way to find out who Mrs. Peacock is, but they also get the authorities involved to let them know that this chick tried at least to commit double homicide, if not possibly killed more people. Since Colonel Mustard has now disappeared, Scarlet now has access to his full bank account. He manages to work with a writer and get this whole thing turned into a series of movies starring Scarlet, as the new Sherlock Holmes, basically,
Yeah.
only much prettier. And he is now just living the life, going between Malibu and the Caribbean and the French Riviera. And as for interested parties, they're all over the place. It is like, Clooney, Ever After, Brad Pitt. I'm good. Peace, y'all.
All right. That just leaves us with Reverend Green. What was your total?
So my total, one moment. With my narrative, is it all right with my other 4 castmates here if I'm a bit of a prick?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
we've been that this entire time.
They
I
left
literally
everybody.
just tried to
So-
kill 2 people.
Yeah.
I also had no blue dice. I had 5 red dice. I totaled 22,
Yeah.
which is also awesome.
This is why
No.
I'm in jail.
The Reverend, the best end for this, for the Reverend Green, is that he died. Scarlet was pulling him into the hall when the foyer collapsed, and Green is gone. Scarlet escaped, everyone else escaped. Green has perished with the other bodies. Now, several days later, when Reverend Green's will reading is happening, his sister, Frances Emerald, she receives a manila envelope. Reverend Green was never in love with Miss Peacock. The Reverend Green was using Miss Peacock to dig up information on the war crimes between Gray and Mustard. He was convinced that Peacock was onto him and was going to have him killed, and so put all of this in here. He also had been manipulating this pawn that he met at the local cribbage club, Mr. Scarlet, into getting more dirt on Mustard. And so yes, you got your book deal, but you also saw time. Everything that built the case against Peacock and Gray, most of it was from secret investigator for the FBI, Green, Agent Green.
Yes.
Who died, but
lived.
Mr. Scarlet gets to play
But lived.
Agent Green in the movies.
Hell yeah.
I am here for this. I love that
So
I tried
good.
to
Oh
kill
my
you
God.
guys.
I also love because Mustard was on the run in the epilogue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went off the grid.
Ray would turn on Mustard so fast.
I love it.
Mustard is like living in the jungles of Cambodia or something right now.
Actually.
Well,
Oh my God.
I guess the only
was-
thing left would be the butler, who I was silently keeping track of my own die. And I got a white 8, or sorry, a blue 8, technically. Which is nothing to crow about, nothing better, but nothing worse. Maybe your car is wrecked, your wife is leaving you, or there's a court date, but compared to some of the other people you know, not as bad. Pulling himself out of the wreckage, being stabbed, bleeding, left for dead. The butler
Brought
would
into a fire.
It's
into a fire.
fine.
Would just brush himself off, go to one of the rooms, just start pulling the rubble to the side, find a broom and a dustpan, and just get to work cleaning the estate.
Actually, some like bound spirit that
I know this is gonna be some. I know what you did last summer. Shit, like
Remember.
it's gonna enact their revenge on all of us.
Can I add one more sentence to
Please do.
that? Gets to work cleaning the mansion to set the stage for another game.
Ooh, I love it.
Chainsaw.
Chainsaw.
Oh my god.
I was thinking
Aw,
more like
19.
Eternal Clue, but you know,
Yes, love.
the butler always did it.
I'm in jail.
Was the
on
benefactor ever alive to begin with? Was there even a benefactor? Or were you all simply invited to be part of a game that has been running for generations?
A murderous game.
The Eldritch
game.
Butler.
Eldritch Butler.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here. This game was a blast. Before we're doing our outros, I just want to throw the reminder out that this is a charity event to support the Trevor Project. It is a fantastic organization. They're the world's largest LGBTQ youth suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization. That is a mouthful. We are raising money to make sure that every LGBTQ young person knows that they are not alone. It's very important to us, the entire cast and crew at the Lost Caravan, that we raise as much awareness and support as we can for this organization because they are amazing. We have a few giveaways to do at the end of the stream, but if you do want to get your name added to the raffle, every $10 donated gets you added, so it gets your name a few times. We have a bunch of cool games to give away, as well as a cool Destiny mental health kit. And yeah, before we do that, do want to go around, give everyone one last chance to tell the people who you are, and if you're working on any project people can check out, where they can find it. We'll start to my immediate right with Sin, with Sergeant Gray.
Oh, hello. First of all, I just want to say that I love that I unlocked the secret to me surviving one of your games, and it's to kill your characters before they can kill mine. I just had to be an awful person. That was it. But hello. I am Sin Synthetic 20 TTV on Twitch and Twitter, and you know what? I also have a charity thing that is going on this week. I am having my streamiversary, which happens this Thursday. I will have been streaming for 1 year.
Hey.
And I am at 6 p.m. Central Time going to go over my top 10 games of 2022. And in that, I am going to announce games that will be raffled off for charity benefiting the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So very like-minded cause to what is being supported here. Love the Trevor Project. And I will also be raising money on Saturday as I stream Hades. Both of those two streams, I don't have a mechanism for the bits or subs or whatever going to the charity, but all of the donations will be done through the Twitch donation program, and they will be benefiting that cause. So I'm very much looking forward to that. You have time to join me and talk about some cool indie games? Love to have you.
All right, over to Holly, Mrs. Peacock.
Hey, I played Mrs. Peacock. My name is Holly. You can find me at OMG Holly D on the internet, literally everywhere. And if you can't find me there, I know you can find me on Lost Caravan's really amazing website that is up and running now. We are also, I know that Hoop is like, we're doing charity, but like, Hoop, it's your birthday month. That's why we doing the charity. So without you and your people, we could not have this amazing community. So thank you. I also want to plug that continuing in the charity aspect, I am running a one-shot game of Necrobiotic next Monday. It is the game that I helped create through Penny for a Tale, which is the company I belong to. So if you guys could please give that a love and show up next Monday, that'd be great. Otherwise, I really encourage you guys to check out the programming that Hoop and Tess have put together for everybody this month. It's amazing. Other than that, that's it for me. So thank you guys so much. You guys were lovely players.
Yeah. And then down to Mr. Colonel Mustard. Heck.
Everybody, it's me, Sir Heckalot. You know,
That's Colonel Mustard.
today I played Colonel Mustard. This was a blast. You can find me on all of the social medias at Sir Heckalot, including Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. If you really like, you know, in costume streams, I do this a whole lot on my personal streams. Just with various stream incentives, from charities to follow goals to all kinds of stuff like that. Or if you like to see me in costume every week over on Indoor Adventures, I'm part of a Ghostbusters campaign where I am in full suit the entire time. It's a good time. You won't see me this coming Saturday, but the 28th is the next Saturday that will be on for that. In terms of other places in the TTRPG space, you can find me on the 20th over at Neon Lights Roleplay, playing Rhyme of the Frost Maiden, campaign called Cold Hands, Warm Hearts. On the 24th, you can find me right back here playing Thirsty Sword Lesbians. It's going to be a great time. Our session 0 was utter chaos. If you want more chaos, come to that stream. It's going to be great. You can find me back here for Icon on the 25th. And then, lastly, on the 26th, you can find me on Dat Magic Juice's channel, playing in All Hail the Queen, a Tyranny of Dragons campaign. Lots of other stuff in the works, so just stay tuned.
Yeah. Tales from the Table Studios, thank you so much for the raid.
Yay.
You caught us at the tail end, but I do want to let you know that this event and the next 10 days, we will be streaming a charity event to support the Trevor Project. They're a fantastic organization. They do amazing things for LGBTQ youth. And we're about to do a giveaway, which if you're interested in a game called Die Laughing, a game called Good Strong Hands, or a game called Avatar Legends, every $10 donated gets you added to the raffle and gives you a chance to win. So thank you so much for the raid. Over to Sean.
Hello everyone, I'm Sean. I was playing Mr. Scarlet tonight, your lovable, friendly himbo. Yeah, you can find me lots of different places. Twitter at SL5, you can see up there. A lot of other places under Rise, R-I-Z-E, or Raven Black Photography, which is my photography company, which I'm the single employee photographer, owner, etc., etc., etc. Do a lot of cosplay, photography, that kind of thing. Let's see what else is got going on. I think the next time I'll be on here, probably when we do the next episode of our Epimetheus Alien RPG game, depending on how the scheduling works out for next month. Other than that, I just want to say thanks to Hooper and Tessa and everybody for putting this together, and our wonderful mods in stream. They're all fantastic, and thank you guys for a great game. My cheeks literally are in pain from all the laughing and grinning tonight. It was fantastic, and it's great to be here and do this for such a fantastic, worthwhile cause. The Trevor Project is very important to me. You know, I am single dad with 3 LGBTQ kids, and you know, this kind of stuff is really important to me, even though, you know, I'm just, you know, middle-aged straight white dude. Thank you all so much. This was always great being here with y'all, and so much fun.
Absolutely. All right. Over to Secret Agent Green. Scott.
Hi, I'm Scott. Scott Waffles sometimes on here and whatnot. Most of the places you're going to find me are here with the Lost Caravan, though I don't know when next. Hopefully very soon. I do every now and then do a stream of my own at Scott Waffles, all one word on Twitch. Otherwise, you can find me at Bumbling Fools, which is my mead company that I also own. Not quite all by myself, just with one other person, though. So if you're in Minnesota, we will deliver to you as well. And we are award-winning mead. Anyway, yeah, thank you all for being here. This was a ton of fun. Like everyone else has said, thank you to the rest of the cast, to the crew, especially to Hoop. I do not identify as straight and haven't for a very, very long time. My partner does not. My friends, most of my friends don't. I know quite a few people who have directly benefited from resources like, if not, the Trevor Project. And I mean, I was already going to do streams when asked for, but when I heard that it was the Trevor Project, it was like, yeah, it's, you know, I'm however I can do, I want to help. So yeah, it's a great organization.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for being here. Of course, I'm Andrew, your facilitator for the evening. Technically a player, but, you know.
Hey, that's Goblin.
Fiasco is a game that doesn't really require a GM. So I was just as much of my audience as the rest of you. I guess before we get into the outros, I should roll some prizes. First one up is our Destiny Mental Health Kit from Guardians Mental Health.
Dun dun dun.
Roll or spin that dice. That is going to Heck.
Yeah, heck. Yeah.
I don't know how that's possible. I didn't donate.
You didn't? It was
Colonel
Colonel Mustard.
Mustard did.
Dan, was that you? Land the Dan in the chat. Probably. Land the Dan, come out here.
Well, we'll get Dan's
Yeah,
details.
we'll get in contact. I'll get you to him. Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
Thank you, Dan.
Damn it,
Damn
Dan.
I know he absolutely did that.
So good.
Yeah, why
So
would I do anything like that?
So good.
Next is our copy of Avatar Legends from Magpie Games.
Whoever you are, you're so lucky.
And that is going to Egg.
Egg!
Egg, if you're still in chat, congrats. Otherwise, I'll send you a message and I'll get to you about sending you your copy.
Always preferred muted chicken.
Congratulations! Yeah.
Next is the game Die Laughing by Nerdburger Games.
Burger.
And that is going to Lonnie, one of our lovely moderators, who I believe is going to donate that to the Discord. So we'll be giving that away in our Discord. If you want to come hang out with us, you can join the Discord. Link down below. That big old button that says Discord. It's where we hang out with casting call schedules and generally just be giant nerds.
Yes, we're lots of fun.
So much fun.
And the final giveaway, Good Strong Hands.
Yes, which is an Any Award winner. This is a big deal.
Ooh.
Going to Ling.
Yay!
Thank you all so much for your donations. It means a lot to me, to everyone at the Trevor Project, just everyone in our community. It just means a heck of a lot. But yeah, that's all we got for tonight. We are going to throw a raid over to Q Times, who was playing some Alien, which I love.
Heck
I love
yeah.
a good horror murder game. Pixelated Bunny. You know what? I'm gonna save that fate point. We're gonna save it for the next stream. Mods will remind me.
Yes.
I don't know what stream we have next, but I'm gonna save it for him. Thank you so much for the.
Somebody's
for the
gonna
fate
need
points. Yes.
Yeah. For
Alright.
All of the
sure.
endings that happened in this game are totally what needed to happen. So,
I
All
did my
right.
best.
Thank you all so much. we heckin' love you. This was an amazing start off to a fantastic event. I can't wait. If you want to see the full schedule, you can see it on our Discord or on our Twitter. It's posted there. But yeah, come hang out. Tomorrow's game is Electrum Archive, which I'm super excited for. But come hang out. We'll get some more donations, give away some more stuff. But as always, be good people, do good things, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.